Hi, this is Dylan Jovine with Behind the Markets. I started working on Wall Street. I grew up poor, welfare, food stamps, and I got a lucky break. A friend of mine worked for a guy, Peter Jakewith, who is this big Wall Street legend who worked at Lazard Fair. He's one of the bankers that really built a name for himself for saving New York City from bankruptcy in the 70s. A kid from Queens, this is like a big break, actually. I had no idea what I was going to do. Whenever I went to job fairs at school, he said, oh, you can get a job working at IBM and you can get a job at this other big corporation or Xerox or wherever it was. To me, working for a company like that every day for 30, 40, 50 years, it looked like going to prison. It seemed like a jail sentence to me. So I knew that kind of thing wasn't right for me. So I needed something a little looser, a little more freewheeling, a little more merit-based, truly. So I got a lucky break when I went to Wall Street and I got to work for basically an investment banking legend. I was so desperate for the opportunity. I wasn't going to let it go to waste. I was literally the first person in the office every single day, and I was the last person to leave. And I remember I was so tight for money that I only was able to save 70 cents every day. That meant every 2 days, I was able to buy like a pretzel or a hot dog downstairs at the stand for lunch. I didn't have money for lunch. So every 2 days I was able to buy something. And back then a pretzel was $1.25, hot dog was $1.50 or $1.25, I don't remember. So every 2 days I was able to buy basically one of those things. And the other days when I couldn't afford it, I remember in the lunchroom, they had ramen soup. They would give it away for free, just cups of ramen soup. So basically, like I would eat ramen soup for free because that's what they had in the lunchroom. To this day, the smell of ramen soup makes me sick. I always looked at books and numbers of companies, and I really love the analytical side of it. I really, really love researching companies. But when I saw how much people were making doing sales, I really was like, wow, you can make that kind of money. I just couldn't believe it. And that's really where the big money on Wall Street is and is trying to do deals. So I really jumped at that opportunity. But I remember I would come to work early and I was just so hungry for success. I was like, I used to say to myself, nothing could stop me except God. Nothing. I just won't be denied. I won't be denied. I won't be denied. I had no idea what I was even talking about, what I was doing. I just was burning for success. I knew I was just going to push myself. I actually made it my mission to understand the craft of investing at the highest level I possibly could. It was just, I wanted to understand how you could pick the right stocks, hold on to them, make money doing that. That was just a burning obsession with me. And I wasn't going to stop until I figured that out. You don't know this when you're starting. Nobody tells you this, but it takes a lot of years to actually really understand that, because you can read about certain things in a history book, but actually you have to live through them to really understand how it works in real time. For example, I read about big crashes, market crashes, my whole entire career. And I read about how you see market crashes, how you could see them building up. But it wasn't until 2006, actually, the Great Recession that came in 2009, 2006, where I was able to synthesize all that I had learned and was able to predict that market crash and say, this real estate market's going to crash. Look at these bad mortgages. Look at all these things that they're doing, and really able to write about it a year and a half before it happened. Call that, predict the market crash, predict the Great Recession, and then when the market crashed in 2009, to really profit from it. It took me literally 15 years, 91 to 2009, almost 20 years of being on Wall Street before I could turn that Great Recession into one of the biggest paydays of my life. That's how much time I needed. And it wasn't until the Great Recession, which was a calamity for so many people, but for me, it was when I truly felt like a professional investor. I had made tons of money recommending stocks here and there, buying stocks here and there. But it wasn't until I saw the 2009 crash happening before it did, so clear to me. And then when the market did crash, actually knowing what to buy, it wasn't until that actual point in my life that I said to myself, wow, I'm actually a professional investor. I've actually made it. And that, looking back now, that took 20 years of study, relentless study, before I actually hit that level. And now when markets crash or when there's disparities in real estate or inflation or whatever, I see these things. Now I know I've learned what to look for. And the market crashes this day and age, they don't scare me at all. As a matter of fact, they're the best thing in the world for us, because You don't ever want a good market crash to go to waste. You want to keep it completely within your ability, because market crashes, they give you an opportunity to buy everything you've wanted to buy for years at a massive discount. So all those stocks that you've been watching soar over those past 5, 7, 10 years, when a real market crash happens, like in 2009 or like 2020, the COVID crash, you get to buy all those stocks you've wanted. You got to buy it cheap. You get to buy them cheap. It's like the best car, the car you've desired for years. You get to buy it on sale, 40% off, 50% off, 60% off. And that is an opportunity when you get to be my age, you don't ever let go to waste.